Hello generals, today I would like to show you one of the features of the Gods of War Robert E. Lee wargame, which is cards. Yes, there are cards in the Gods of War Robert E. Lee wargame. I would like to do some unboxing today. I will show you the decks of the 4 available nations for the Gods of War Robert E. Lee and talk something about the cards and the use of the cards. So they are an inherent element of the Gods of War Robert Lee, and we have several types of cards in the game. General cards, battle cards are most important, but we also have cards for army tactics or cavalry tactics. So, for example, the general cards, they make it easy to find out who commands a given unit, a given corps, and the goal of the battle cards is to introduce some unpredictability to the game and allow some randomness management. I will explain it to you in a couple of minutes. Okay, let's do some unboxing, for example, of the Union cards for the start. That's the biggest deck we have. I would like to show you what we have inside. Let's unpack it. Okay, and okay, I will try not to destroy the paper label. Give me a second, I will remove it, remove the label, and we'll take out the cards. That's what you get when you buy a deck of the cards, which is necessary to play the game. So you cannot play Gods of War Robert Lee without the deck of the cards. What we have here? We have generals cards. So we have generals here. And let's take a look. So every card with a general has a picture of the general, which explains, which shows what general do we have. You have the command level here, so it's division, it may be army, it may be corps. For example, let's take some corps commander, Darius and Couch. You have the command skill, yes, here. You have the character of the general, you have the name of the general, and some special abilities of the general here, and the card number. There are a lot of generals, there are also all historical generals, so many of them with different characters, with different skills. Oh, you have George McClellan here, one famous commander of the Army of the Potomac. You have Irvin McDowell, George Meade, there's Dixon Miles, there's John Newton, there's John Pope, John Reynolds as a corps commander, John Sedgwick, Henry Slocum, and many others. A lot of cards there. Yes, as you can see, literally a lot of cards. You will use them to command your armies. But that's not all what you have in your cards deck, because you have also a battle cards there. And there are 4 types of cards. There is an initial effect card with a blue line. There is a command card, which is yellow one. There is a combat card, which is red one. And there is also a green one, a luck card. So 4 types of cards, and many cards, battle cards. What they do, they allow you to use some additional tactics to make some chaos on the battlefields and to change something on the battlefield. And they allow us also to make the battlefield look little more realistic, because during the battle there will be many different things that will happen, For example, maybe acoustic shadow. Maybe your commander-in-chief will not hear that the battle has commenced, and he will stay in his camp. It happens many times, and some other, of course, things may happen during a battle. How the cards are played? So you have 4 types of cards. You can play initial effect cards before the game. It affects your units. For example, it raises the morale, it makes improvements to your armament, and so on with your units. Then you have command card, which affects the command skill and orders of your generals. For example, you have acoustic shadow here. This card, it makes that your enemy's commander-in-chief will not hear the battle, and he will stay in his base of operations for the couple of turns. Then you have combat card, which affects the combat. It gives better firefight or maybe melee level for your units, so they will fight better in this particular combat. And you have luck card, like Providence, yes, so you can re-roll any roll that you made, so also very useful. When you play a card, for example a command card, okay, let's start with that. You start a game with 5 cards, so you draw 5 cards from the beginning and from the deck, and when you have these 5 cards, you have to choose what 3 cards you will get from the start. The remaining 2 cards, okay, let's skip this. You have to put again in your deck, and every turn, at the start of every turn, you will draw another card. And be able to play it. Of course, in the online army creator, you can buy additional army cards. The number depends on the size of your army. Usually it's 1 or 2 additional cards. But you will have 3 cards from the start, and the enemy doesn't know what kind of cards you have, and you don't know also what cards your enemy will have. And when you play a card, for example a combat card, on your units, yes, play at the beginning of the firefight. So I will play that card at the beginning of the firefight. The enemy can block it. How to block the card? So you can play 2 combat cards or 3 different ones. So to block, when I play "Hello boys" on my units, that card, if your enemy will have 2 combat cards, for example, let's take, where is some combat card here, I counter it with Union Shell and additional ammo, so this card is countered. But to do so, I used 2 of my cards that I will not play, because I use it to counter it. So that's a strategy. Of course, it is possible that I will not have 2 combat cards. So to block that card, any card, I will have to use 3 cards. For example, luck card, command card, and combat card to block it. Okay, so it can make a difference on a battlefield, because I will not play this additional ammo, intercepted order, and general's destiny. I will not able to do it because the enemy, I just blocked, I just countered the enemy card, and I used 3 of my cards. So that's how the cards work. So we have different cards. Battle Cry of Freedom, additional ammo, another additional ammo, Springfield Armory, Terrible Maps, Initiative, Lincoln intervenes, Union Cheer, additional ammo, Intercepted Order, General's Destiny, Fugitive Slaves, Bad Situational Awareness, Professional Army, Acoustic Shadow, Providence, Spy, there are spies also, luck card, Good Staff Work, The Art of Command, Death of the ADC, It's not your day. Oh, it blocks the card that blocks enemy card. You can use just this card to block enemy cards. Spencer the Picking Rifle, like Sequels at Gettysburg, Misunderstanding, Providence, and Industrial Power. That's a card from the Union deck of battle cards. But in your deck, you will also have 3 Army Tactics cards. So you will have cautious, neutral, and aggressive army tactics. You choose army tactics before the battle. Cautious is easier to finish. Neutral is more difficult, and aggressive is most difficult because it has most difficult targets to finish. And you will also have 3 cards of cavalry tactics, because the cavalry in Gods of War Robert Lee operates not as simple units like infantry, because it had its own tactics. And to show it, we have prepared a special cavalry tactics. So using one of these tactics, you can deploy, for example, your cavalry in the middle of the table, at the edge, one of the edge of the table, and so on they can. Right, so they are all part of the cards for Gods of War Robert Lee. So let's unbox for a comparison. Let's make an unboxing of the French cards. I will show you the French cards. Also, give me a moment, I do not want to damage the label. Okay. The cards are of standard American size, and we advise you to buy a protective sleeves for your cards. It's best for them. So we have French generals like François Bazin, like Pierre Bousquet, like Charles Bourbeki, like Jacques Camus, like Armand d'Alonville, and others. Of course, there is also Napoleon Bonaparte somewhere there, Napoleon III, Espinasse Foray. There are generals from the Crimean War and from 1859. Lebeuf, MacMahon. Yes, but we have the Emperor himself, so we have the card of the Emperor. Also in our deck, also Jerome Napoleon, and many others in this deck, very good generals in the French army. And because each army have different battle cards, some of them are the same, but armies have different battle cards, and it gives the character for the armies. It helps to make them look different. For example, the French got Elan, 3 Elan, System Light, Heavy Cavalry, a special card for your heavy cavalry like cuirassiers, March or Die, French Diplomacy, the French are model for the world. It's not your day. That's Providence, that's the same card. Misunderstanding. École Spéciale Militaire de Saint-Cyr. A good day. Good day. Death of the ADC. The Art of Command. Manufacture Art de Saint-Tien. Draft Lottery. The use of railways. The Second French Empire. And then we have army tactics, aggressive, neutral, cautious, and cavalry tactics, which are different because we've got crushing charge, we've got battlefield cavalry, and we've got outflanking maneuver, because the doctrine of using cavalry for the French Empire was different than for the Union or Confederate forces, and it is also different. So that's how the cards look like for Gods of War Robert Lee. I hope you will like it, and remember, you have to have the cards, the card deck, For the army you are collecting, because every army needs a special card deck only for them, but it makes the game much more interesting. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.